Good morning, Mr. Lee, Khadijah, Voyager, RCR Racing. I hope everybody's having a great start to your day. I know Khadijah's getting ready to head out to her therapy. Treezilla is in the fog this morning. I thought it was going to burn off, but it's sticking around. Good morning, Misty. Mr. Lee, I saw some stuff in the news yesterday. It was pretty interesting. I'm not going to mention any names, though, because I don't want to get you in any trouble. Karen, good morning. We've got Oklahoma, we've got North Carolina, we've got Texas, and we've got Britain. Good start to the day, and Tennessee. Oh, trust me, the sun is going to come out very shortly. We're going to get a reprieve here in a couple of days. Our high temperature might only be 83. RCR racing today is a good day. We shall we say muddled through yesterday. The person that I have had trouble contacting to do business with, I went to their location and sadly found out they had retired. Uh, I was very happy for them, very sad for me. No, I'm in North Carolina, Karen, but I can be in Virginia in 10 minutes. Uh, many on my nature channel, many of the videos are in Virginia, southern and western Virginia. Oh, just like I said, somebody I was going to do business with. They were very good at what they do, and I was very disappointed. Karen, what part of the world are you located that you're willing to share with everybody? Oh, I go to Roanoke all the time. And I used to go to Virginia Beach when I was a teenager. Oh, okay. Yep. Uh, Now I've got Paul Revere and the Raiders playing in my head. Indiana wants me. Uh, I was hoping they would wait until after 8 o'clock. It sounds like the construction is about to crank up. Oh, RCR, I thought you were in Texas for some reason. I was wondering because I thought the RCR was Richard Childress. What's the good news? You got a new diecast race car, right? Karen, you have a good day. Here, I pipe in my feed from the Nature Channel and we talk of a morning music, movies, any subject that comes up pretty much. Ah, that's where I got confused. Yeah, I remember seeing you in Khadijah's live the other day. Congratulations, RCR. Well, December is a good month. Uh, at least she's not going to be 8 and 9 months in the middle of summer. Because carrying an extra person and then All that heat, not a good thing. Khadijah, you use that safety device and everything on the treadmill if you get on there. Uh, I've seen too many people get messed up on treadmills. And I'm guessing they kind of disappeared, but Tyler, uh, even though I agree with you, we don't talk that way here. So, does anybody else in chat remember when LeAnn Rimes released the same song as Trisha Yearwood? And I thought LeAnn was knocking it out of the park, and Trisha was doing a good job between home base and the pitcher's mound, and that was about it. Yeah, those things, I mean, they're simple, they're very useful, but boy, they can mess you up if you're not careful. Uh, I'm drinking coffee. I have I have about a pot of coffee, not quite a full pot, but every day, because I'd rather drink coffee than take drugs for my asthma. But yeah, use that little safety device, and that way, if you pull on that safety device, it'll turn the machine off instantly. I mean, if you're using it for therapy, that means you're recovering from something, and you don't need to have another problem. And Mr. Lee, we might be down in the 27 range for 2 days coming up, but most of the time we're going to be in the 33, 34 range, C, that is. Yeah, let's not create problems. Well, it looks like the sun's coming out. It's still a little bit foggy. Yeah, Khadijah, you'll get a kick out of this, and RCR Racing. Uh, the uh, the woke uh, TV station that I listen to. One minute they're talking about how low the water levels are, and this, that, and the other, and then the news, the weather comes on, and he's talking about how they got 4 inches of rain. It's two opposing uh, facts that was in the same newscast. Well, RCR these days, really, you can't physically be in the same place with him easily, but with video calls and stuff like that, you can pretty well talk to him almost in person every day. Thank goodness. Yeah, and I mean, 4 inches of rain, uh, that's a lot of water. And you got to remember the 4 inches, you know, uh, it drops everywhere and then runs into the streams and the lakes. So 4 inches is a lot of water. You got to watch what people say. I mean, they will they will use terms and whatnot that will just mislead you tremendously. It's like this is the highest fill in the blank in recent history. Well, it was actually higher a month ago, trying to make it sound like it's some big deal. Yep, I understand. Oh no, Mr. Lee, I had yesterday was a solemn day. I had to go into Greensboro and I had to attend a little group of people and try to track down people. So it was yesterday had quite a few unenjoyable tasks. If the weather permits, I'm going to the mountain today just to balance things out. If I get time, I will. What's the topic? Uh, just uh, the not fun parts of life, and we'll leave it at that. I don't want to dump on you guys. So, Mr. Lee, what was the topic? for the interview? Oh, okay. That might go in line with some of the stuff I heard about the topic of the 77th Brigade. Let me go refill my coffee cup. You guys hold down the fort. I'll be right back. All right, the cup is full, the coffee pot's empty. Uh, got you, Mr. Lee. Yeah, I know. That's why uh, I didn't I didn't go into any details because the last thing I want to do is get any of my friends across the pond in trouble. Yeah, for Mr. Lee, it is almost 12:30 in the afternoon. Well, I just noticed most of the fog seems to have lifted. Oh, that's fantastic. So is that the power tool I'm hearing is you in your shop? I didn't know you were that close by. Mr. Lee, I was aware of quite a bit that was going on because of the newscast that I listened to. And so there is information getting out. It's just hard to come by. Nice. Chainsaws sound different. That's a circular saw. But I remember going to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I was a teenager. I believe is when that came out, and there were there were parts of it that were a little bit, jump scare type stuff. And then there were parts that after the movie was over, we just laughed. I mean, we laughed hard. Yeah, you got to be. That's the thing most people don't necessarily realize about racing. You've got to keep an eye on every little detail because the least little thing can make you lose a race. I have not seen the remake. There's not many remakes that I'm happy with. You know. Oh, speaking of Mr. Lee, the original Cape Fear was 1962, and it starred Robert Mitchum. RCR, we were talking about the other day. Just when they went from the fan attached to the motor to the electric motor fan, that added enough horsepower that the guy was winning every race. And we've got cars that function better now because of that being created in the NASCAR arena. Yeah, some people were talking about. Oh, don't worry. Uh, some people were talking about it over at Moggs the other night, and I couldn't type. I was on the phone uh, getting ready for everything. But yeah, they were talking about De Niro, and it's like, well, that's not the original Cape Fear. Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum was in the original, and they kind of switched roles. In the remake, as far as the good guy, bad guy goes. Yep, that's right. They were in the remake, both of them. Gregory Peck, was it Gregory Peck? Yeah, Robert Mitchum for sure. Don't worry. Remember, Mr. Lee, you're at home base for misspellings and auto incorrect. Okay. I was about to get up and go in that live stream because I'm not going to be listening to Power Tools. So don't worry about misspellings because you are absolutely not alone. So, Mr. Lee, have you been out on that Yamaha lately? Roger Blair, good morning. Yeah, I saw something about that. RCR racing, the only thing that I'm not a fan of as a result of racing is all the cars are pretty much shaped the same because aerodynamics, you know, I miss the days of like the 60s and 70s. You could tell what a car was at a distance because they were all unique. Not so easy to do that anymore. Mr. Lee, that yeah, that gets to be habit. Like whenever I'm typing on my phone with the predictive text, all I've got to do is type MR and it comes up Mr. Lee 3PO. If I type in Tina, it defaults to 100% because in chat I've agreed with her so many times it just thinks I'm going to do 100%. Wow. Well, well, good luck. I hope your horse wins. I'm still waiting on pictures of that motorcycle. Northwoods, uh, and as far as Bonnie Tyler goes, I got to give her credit. I mean, after the surgery and even with the raspy voice, she came back and had, hits. I found where she was. I see a Facebook post that the doctors are positive she'll make a recovery, but as with all news, give it a little while because it takes a while for things to filter through. Yeah, she did. She did some Jim Steinman, and that kind of caused a rift between Meatloaf and Jim Steinman, because Bonnie Tyler sang one of his songs, and Air Supply sang one of his songs. Total Eclipse of the Heart was supposed to be about vampires, and Meatloaf was going to sing it. I don't remember the whole story, but it kind of makes sense because the music video for I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That. Yeah, Roger, that was a good one too. I don't know, Mr. Lee. Oh, yeah. Children are a touchy subject. They Parents need to be parents, not their children's best friend, in my opinion. We were just at home. We were wild and crazy, but when we went out in public, we behaved. Or when we got home, we would be very sad of misbehaving out in public. But most people forget your rights end where the next person's begin. Um, I appreciate the differences in all of them. I really do, Mr. Lee, because if we were all the same, life would be so much more boring. Um, I do get a little picky about people who get indignant over accents, shall we say. Because when I went to California, the people who were born and raised out there, once I said two words, they didn't want to talk to me because of my accent. So, people who have that kind of attitude, I don't have any patience with them. And I have heard well educated people make statements that the Southern accent is something horrible and no one should have it. So I tend to stay away from those people. I mean, we've talked about the Boston accent here several times, and I think I enjoy it because it is so different. And we've got people who come into come to this channel. We obviously we can't hear them because they're typing, but I've heard them on their channel, and after a while, uh, when people type that I know what they sound like, when I'm reading it, I'm hearing their voice in my head. The more uh, like the accent that the king and queen have, uh, people will fake that accent or use that accent in commercials here to attempt to lend credence to subjects. Exactly, Northwoods. I mean, here in North Carolina, the, the mountains, the Piedmont, and the coast have three different accents, and it's not as prominent as it once was. Now it's more the people in the mountains, their accent, our accent actually, and then the coastal. Uh, but like I said, let's celebrate our differences along with our similarities. But now, when I was living in Tennessee, very few people said anything to me about my accent being different than over in Tennessee. Now, some of the thicker accents I have trouble understanding, but you know, uh, I don't remember if they were Irish, Scottish, or which. But Mr. Lee, the music group, the Coors. It was two sisters and a brother. Yeah, there you go, Northwoods. Now, some people can pick up on accents way better than the average bear. There was this guy I worked with, and one Monday morning I come in and he said, "You were on the phone with your parents this weekend, weren't you?" And he could tell a difference in my accent if I had been talking to family. Irish, yeah. Boy, good music and talk about easy on the eyes. RCR Racing, if you think about it, send me an email because there's a good chance I'll be down your way. And sorry you got to copy and paste the email, but YouTube doesn't like me. YouTube thinks I'm a child still. Yep. Uh, I remind people that the Georgia Guidestones, people spent a lot of money posting the Georgia Guidestones. And number one on their list was maintain the world's population below 500 million. And you know the old saying, if you're saying a fact that will not change, you carve it in stone. And if you don't know if something's going to take place or not, you say pencil in because you can erase pencil. So there is a group of people who want the world population reduced by over 7 billion, and they want one government for the whole world. Just read the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, Mr. Lee. Uh, the frog in the pot realized the water was getting warmer. We still have too many people here that don't realize what's taking place. And too many people in positions that they don't have our best interest at heart, in my opinion. It's like, was it yesterday? Uh, the Joe Rogan interview that if it's not already public, it will be soon. Uh, where in the 90s they put the thumb on the scale for what music's going to get airplay, and they pushed a different style of music on everybody instead of what was actually most popular. That would be one off Northwoods. Uh, he was not powerful enough to do the Georgia Guidestones, but the Georgia Guidestones was commissioned in the late 70s, is either 78 or 79. This guy just appeared in this little town in Georgia and went to the bank manager and said, I would like for you to handle this taking place. And he spent over $200,000 in the late 70s, which is the equivalent of well over $1 million today. And he had the guy use one of the local quarries to get the stone and communicate with the United Nations in order to translate everything correctly into the, I think it was 8 languages that it was translated into. And then they just put it in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, I think that goes back to there's certain unspoken or not written down rules that seem to be a commonality. It's kind of like a vampire cannot enter your home unless they are invited. Even though that's fiction, it's similar in that groups will announce their intention, and if you don't do anything about it, it's like giving them permission. It's like I said, nothing written down, but it just seems to repeat in history. And you look at the music business. And you know, I've talked about this book many times, but it's Take a Walk on the Dark Side: Rock and Roll Myths, Legends, and Curses. Uh, if you can get a copy of that book, I greatly recommend it. I'm not big on reading, but when I got this book, I couldn't put it down. And big rock stars and some of the things that they have done. Yeah, Northwoods, it's crazy. You know, George Orwell in 1948, when he wrote his book 1984, uh, it is crazy how accurately he predicted today. I mean, he had pictures on a wall that would monitor you, a flat screen television in 1948. And the Take a Walk on the Dark Side book, I know, Mr. Lee, I'll watch it eventually. Uh, in that book, it shows how really big people in rock music were crazy about Crowley, Aleister Crowley. Uh, One band member bought Crowley's home in the UK, and how they practice certain rituals. And then you look at what some of the people in pop music do. There's one young lady that started out in Christian music and she switched over to pop music, and they've got video of her like she's just a robot short circuiting on stage. Well, Mr. Lee, it's that way here. It's just not as bad here as it is in the UK yet. But I think the worst thing that people can have as far as a point of view is that could never happen here, because that point of view has been proven wrong time after time. All it takes for evil to win is for good men to do nothing. I would say 10, 15 years ago, if you told people that certain individuals would be elected to office, they would say, "Ah, no, no way, not in America." But here they are. Yeah, Mr. Lee, underestimating the opposition is one of the dumbest things ever. I think they're about to ramp up the construction. Yeah, I agree, Northwoods. Uh, I, I totally agree, Northwoods, because one was obvious, and today what's going on is sneaky. I mean, sneaky. And it amazes me. And again, this is straight out of George Orwell's 1984, how people can hold two opposing views in their head at the same time, and it doesn't have any red flags for them. It's like I was talking about earlier. They were talking about, and it was the way they worded the water depth in a certain lake, and then they go from the news to the weather, and the guy in the weather is saying how they just got 4 inches of rain, and obviously their report about the lake level was before the rain started, which the rain was just yesterday. Okay, we're gonna. Yeah, Anybody who says evil does not exist, they've got their eyes closed. And you really, and this is opinion, so you know what they say about opinions, but you really need to pay attention to what music you're listening to, because music psychologically bypasses your mental defenses. Ideas can creep into your thought process through music that you might not want in. And if somebody was talking to you, you know, you would, your defenses would catch it and such. That's right, Mr. Lee. I mean, you look at music in the 60s, and it was about peace, love, uh, quite a bit of drugs, also. That's a whole other story. And you look at music today, uh, I it eludes my rational thought as to why females would want to listen to music that degrades females like a lot of today's music does. You know, it's their choice, but I don't understand that choice at all. That's it, Mr. Lee. For love of money is the root of all evil. And it amazes me the people that will sell out their entire country so that they can have some cash. And you know, Mr. Lee, a lot of the topics that we discuss over at Mogs, the paranormal, anytime money starts getting involved with that, I question how viable it is. It's like that movie that's coming out. They announced it, what, several months ago, and I think they finally got a release date, a real release date, and all it was they was just looking for more money. That's right, Mr. Lee, you do. And that's one thing I've noticed, Mr. Lee. Not you, but other people in the UK that I've communicated with, uh, they are very standoffish. You know, I've asked for them to contact me to be interviewed Saturday night on one of the programs, and it's I don't know. They resist communicating. They resist, and they don't take anything at face value. But I guess that's out of necessity. Yeah, I try. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and and it's bit me in the bottom several times. But if you want the world to be a certain way, you you kind of sort of need to live what you're asking other people to do. Don't tell people do as I say, but don't do as I do type thing. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. Yeah, Mr. Lee, that's why I go to the mountains all the time. I do not enjoy. I really do not enjoy going into town. Most of the time, people one on one can do pretty good, but when you get people in large groups, group mentality is not always positive. Yeah, they're cranking up uh, the construction. Uh, you guys give me a minute. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn off the nature channel. I hate to, but yeah, I don't think people's going to be able to relax with the construction going on. Yeah, like I say, you guys hold on. I'll be right back. Soul Star, good morning. It's like Mr. Lee. I was having a conversation with someone about my nature channel, and I could have monetized the nature channel over a year ago because it was over 1,000 people coming. So they called me a liar. So, it's like, nah, it's about nature. People use that to relax. So that will never be monetized. Now, this channel, if it was to ever, shoot up like that, I would consider monetizing it, because a commercial interrupting me rambling on, who cares? But when people are using something to relax, no, I don't want a commercial playing. Now I've got Metallica Enter Sandman playing in my head, Mr. Lee. Thank you very much for that. And this morning, I did not have time to check out any other channels. Soulstar, how's things going for you this fine Thursday morning? Feels like a Monday morning, but it's actually Thursday morning. Let's see here. Haven't seen WTF Mike this morning. He must still be recovering from his celebration on the 7th. I know, Soulstar. I'm going to balance things out by walking through the woods this morning. Get me back to a little bit back to calm. No, Northwoods, none of us need another Monday. Well, let's hope the down part is minimized and the up part is maximized. Sharon, good afternoon, Sharon. I hope all the grandbabies are doing well, Miss Sharon. That looks, it's easier to read the scroll without that white down there. Yeah. Uh, Soul Star, that's just the nature of life. There's ups and there's downs. And Mr. Lee, I call those people lazy people because it is easy to tear down. It is difficult to build something up. I don't want to go uh, all don't worry, be happy, because that's not the way to be. But try to make the most out of everything and learn from whatever the experience is. Sometimes you learn what to do, sometimes you learn what not to do. So, I'm thinking of the little things that might be little to other people, but it's huge to me. There are thousands of other channels on YouTube alone, let alone radio shows, TV shows, and you guys chose to spend your time here. To me, I'm like, okay, what can I do to entertain and inform and have a good time while these people are here? That's right, Sharon. My buddy Ken, back in the day, he was. We were having a conversation, and somebody was telling what they had heard about me, and my buddy Ken just said, "Well, trust me, it says more about them than it does about Jim." That's when you're predictable and people know if this happens, you're going to do this in reaction to it. It kind of at times can put you at a disadvantage, but you just got to go with, you got to be yourself again, in my opinion. It's like Ronnie James Dio when he was talking about his time in the band Rainbow. And he said Richie Blackmore taught him more about how not to treat people than how to treat people. And that's kind of a positive take on the situation. Richie Blackmore is a great guitar player and musician, but by many accounts, he's not a very good person. Not in years, Sharon. It's been years, and it was verbal, and it was all because I saw them for what they were and just left them alone. You know, the first thing I try to do is leave them alone, and hopefully they're smart enough to let me leave them alone. Yeah, Sharon, I know what you mean. Uh, it's hard to hold that mirror up, and I just I was driving along one day, me and my girlfriend, And I did something. And when I did it in the car, it was about driving. I just knew I was right. And got a mile or two down the road, and something in my gut said, rethink that. And I was totally in the wrong. I mean, totally in the wrong. And I told my girlfriend, I said, that's horrible. Not only did I convince myself that I was in the right, I convinced you that I was in the right, but I was totally wrong. Uh, I try to do that in my head. I can't say constantly, but enough to where I correct my mistakes. If I touch a stove, I don't touch that stove anymore. Can you guys hear that in the background? The thud thud. That's the construction going on. But anyway, oh geez, Sharon, that's uh, no. That person is somebody to stay away from. And I'm sure Soul Star's reacting to what I said, not what Sharon typed. Uh, anyway, that's how loud they were getting. So I ended the nature live stream. But going back to sharing what I was talking about, that happened a couple of years ago now. The other people that was observers in the situation, it took them a while, but they finally figured out what was really going on. Yeah, well, we much prefer you being around, because the world's a better place with you than without you. And I think that is a fact. Right, everybody? Sharon being here it makes the world a better place. Being on the planet, not just here in chat, but on the planet. Because she creates stuff. She's making her grandkids very happy. Oh, I didn't think you would. I think your beliefs are strong enough to prevent that. Well, I hope so, Mr. Lee. Uh, there's a lot of evidence, Mr. Lee, that could be true. And the the other dimensions are absolutely possible, and there, both biblically and according to physics. And I, as a general term, I say it's like tuning in a radio station. You know, all the radio stations are always there, always around us, but you've got to tune in to a specific station in order to hear what's going on. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, trust me, I've made tons of mistakes in my earlier days, and I try to learn from them. Again, you everybody in chat, you're at misspell central. I misspell so much stuff, and auto incorrect gets me going in the wrong direction. Y'all are fine. Trust me. Oh, absolutely true, Mr. Lee. Well, I'm here to tell you, I am here today because a lot of people were praying for my well being, and there's no two ways about it. Uh, if we had listened to doctors, I wouldn't have made it to a week old, let alone 69 years old. Yeah, Mr. Northwoods, let me tell you, the person you divorce is not the person you married. The people change. And I was married to a good person. Uh, I still say if you are where they work and you need a nurse, you want her to be your nurse. She will, if you're a patient of hers, she will take perfect care of you. And if the doctor doesn't do you right, she will jerk a knot in the doctor. Uh, and that's all I can say about that. And I think everybody remembers me talking about in younger days being attracted to females more because of their looks. I mean, than what was in their heart and mind. Eh, I was young and dumb. I admit it. But I mean, come on, really. If they look like Linda Ronstadt or Valerie Bertinelli, got to go for that. Yeah, Northwoods. I dated one of those too. And I mean, it's not me calling her that. It was a professional calling her that. Codependent and narcissist. Excuse me 1 minute. Sorry for the silence. Yep. Best situation, and this is opinion. You know what they say about opinions, kind of like armpits. Some smell way worse than others. But in a good relationship is the best situation. A bad relationship is the worst situation. And by yourself is kind of in the middle. And I'm kind of in the middle. I'm open, but I'm not going to, unless I meet somebody that's hiking on the trails and they're doing it before they know me. I'm not going to fall for that trap again. Oh yeah, well, I really want to get into that. I enjoy doing this, blah 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 blah, and then they don't. And hiking, some of the places I go, you need to be hiking on a regular basis to go there because if you're not in decent shape when you go, you can get yourself in bad situation. Yeah, Mr. Lee, that is too true. I've seen people who lived together for 7, 8 years. They got married and they were angry at each other within a month or two. So I think Northwoods has a good woman right now. It seems like he mentioned that the other day. If you don't, I hope you have one soon. But wait for a good one. It's just, well, Mr. Lee, it's personal beliefs. You got to do what's right for you. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, you just got to do what's right for you. You know, I dated somebody for 10 years and we were like a couple of months away from having a house and getting married. And they did something that I never thought they would do. And it was like, whew, thank goodness I found out before. I mean, it was hard to deal with after 10 years, but you know, some things are not negotiable. Mr. Lee, you don't know how happy I am for you that it's working out that way. Yep, I thought so, Northwoods. Take your time, no hurry. Uh, and I have met probably three or four uh, on the trails, but just too far away. I don't do that long distance stuff. I've tried that a couple of times and it don't work. Oh, Northwoods, they're still together. Hang on, Mr. Lee. Let's see what that is. There you go. Yeah, I know people, like I said, they lived together for 7 years, got married, and they were at each other, you know, banging heads within a couple of months. I know people who, one couple, this lady I used to work with, she said her and her husband went out on a date Friday or Saturday night, whichever one it was. Sunday afternoon, he showed up at her house and said that they were going to get married. And she said no. He said yes. And a week later, they got married, and they had been married 40 some years when she was telling me this. Uh, and then she said she was happy and everything. I know people who, when they first laid eyes on each other, they knew they were going to marry each other and dated for like a few weeks, and they got married, and they've been married. That couple, I'm still in touch with them, and they've been married over 63 years. That's right, Mr. Lee. And, that system works for you, and that's a good thing. And I tell people, doesn't matter if you're the guy or the girl in the relationship. If you want to be treated like a king or queen, you better treat your partner as a king or queen. Because if you think you're going to be king or queen and everybody else is going to be a peasant, there's going to be a revolt. Period. And that's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. Well, yeah. And if people are going to do things that you have that opinion of, you don't need to be together. And like I said, younger days, I wouldn't see that kind of stuff like I do today. And I think of it like this: I'm much happier being single than being in a bad relationship. Yep. And that's Northwoods. That's the thing about a narcissist. They want to be king or queen. Sharon, you have a great day. We're still waiting for you to post some video about your work because it is really nice and should be shared with the world, in my opinion. And to our friends over on the Rumble side, Nightbot doesn't work there yet, but we appreciate you coming in and listening. Rumble has been on the rise. Instead of getting like 5, 7, there's been in the 40s over there. So, that's like 6 times as many as usual. Uh, I'm kind of agree with you there, Mr. Lee. Need to have very similar taste in music. Because music is a big part of it's not as big a part of my life today as it once was, but at one time, I mean, just about everything I did was revolving around music. That's right, Soul Star. I agree with that. But finding honest people these days is not an easy job. Yeah, Northwoods, I know what you mean. There was the the person I was working for was replaced by a racist. She would not even say my name. So, needless to say, I wasn't going to be subjected to that. If they can't call me by my name, I don't need to be around them. But the powers that be decided to put them in charge. And a narcissist will rise in political and professional arenas because they will do or say whatever is necessary to get to where they want to be, and they don't mind stepping on other people. So just by the nature of the beast, they tend to succeed in a lot of places. So I fully believe that part of why I got laid off when I did was because of an engineer that was leaning in that direction. When you engineer designed a circuit, and they chose what parts to use to build it, and they chose how everything was connected, and they give you diagrams about this, and then you put it together per their instructions 100%, and it doesn't work, and then they say something like, you should have done what I wanted instead of what I said to do. Yeah, that's not somebody you want to work with. Yeah, I mean, Miss Lee, I will or I won't. It's uh, I'm open, but at the same time, I'm not going to just frivolously, you know, I, I I got to be around somebody that I don't mind being around all the time. Don't have to be with them all the time, but that has to be there, the option. Yeah, Soul Star, it's crazy. And Northwoods, I know, I feel for the situation, but unless the right people see what's going on, it's like the higher ups at companies like Wally World and just uh, big chain restaurants and everything. The employees that meets the public, if they are rude to them, or in a passive way, and the customers leave them alone, that person makes the same amount of money as they would if they helped you. But so they have no motivation to treat the customer correctly. And the people who ultimately suffer is the company itself. Um, and I don't have a solution. I just have the observation that I see that if they act in a way where they have less work to do, they win because they're getting paid the same, but the company suffers. And how do you fix that? I don't know. I went into a restaurant and they had a sign up. It was handwritten and it said, "Please be polite to the cashier." So I stood there, got my wallet out, got my charge card out so I could pay for it. And they use the registers to clock in and clock out. So standing at a register does not mean that they're working. It just means that they're using the register. And I stood there and I waited for one of two of them to tell me that they would help me. They looked at me. I'm standing there with my credit card in hand, looking back and forth at them. And neither one of them had the courtesy to say, "May we help you?" And I put my credit card back in my wallet, and I have never gone back to that restaurant. If they can't, if they're wanting customers to be courteous to them, the least they can do is say, "May I help you?" Or just say yes. Just look at you and say yes. And I've gone into a restaurant and they were standing around chatting with one another and they glanced over, but nobody came over to help. I'll leave. Yeah, Roger. And like I said, the employees, if it's a big business, the employees are going to get paid the same. They have no motivation to help customers. It's like these restaurants now, they've got these kiosks where you walk up to the machine and you order. Uh, and I refuse to use those. I'm going to go up to the counter, and unless they give me a discount for using it, then I would use those kiosks to, you order on the touchscreen. But I want to talk to a human, and that way, if I have a question, I can get it. Chris, buddy, how you doing? There's construction going on, Chris, so I don't have the nature channel going on. But Mr. Lee, there's plenty of people to talk to and everything. Like I said, there's best situation and worst situation, and I'm just staying out of the worst situation. Chris, I hope your day is going well, buddy. Not getting sunburned, not too hot. We were just solving the problems of the world, putting in our 2 cents worth. Oh no, no, Mr. Lee. I'm sure somewhere there's people that works for, not here. Chris, are you at work? Because it's close to 9 o'clock. And when are you going on your next excursion so that we can look forward to more photos? Oh, geez. We're going to get a little relief, Chris. A couple of days coming up, if they don't change the forecast, we might only be like 83 degrees, 80, 83. I don't mind opinions. I would rather, as long as they have informed opinions, I'm all for it. Uh, when they have made up information, made up facts, no, I'm not for that. Yeah, I know, Chris. Well, like I said, I look forward to the next time you have photos, cause and you need to give yourself a little more credit on the photos. I wouldn't go to the extent that you have gone to get photos of birds, but yeah, I doesn't mean I don't enjoy seeing them. Mr. Lee's been doing some Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Lee, I bet it's right next to the water. Well, I'm doing my best to plan some trips. I want to get into our mountains, and I want to get up to Gettysburg. I've never been to Gettysburg. I'd like to go up there and do a really detailed tour, but my contact up there is kind of fallen off of the grid. Tavares, heaven must be missing an angel. Now I got that song playing in my head. But that's a good song to have playing in your head. Well, you guys have really brightened up my day, and I enjoyed talking with everybody. We're going to call it an end here in just a minute. Y'all take a minute or two to say bye to one another. Yeah, Chris is. You probably want to delete that comment. That's a good idea. There are some people on the internet that you don't want to give out too much specifics. They be crazy. Soul Star, have a good workout. My workout's going to be walking up the mountain. Chris, I don't think I'll be making it to Florida anytime soon. I went in December, and I'm really happy you came and had dinner because, like I said, Florida's too hot. I've got so many places I want to go. I If I make it back to Florida, great, but I'm not counting on it. Well, I had to be disciplined as a child, or I would not be here. Period. I was allergic to so many things. Uh, I I was barely alive, barely. But you know, I try to be a little more laid back than I used to back in the day because I would drive people crazy. Mr. Lee, I want us to get on motorcycles and ride the Blue Ridge Parkway. That would be amazing. I think you would enjoy the Blue Ridge Parkway, and your girlfriend would probably enjoy it also. Uh, Curvy mountain roads, pullovers where you could see the sights, take a little break, see some mountains, see some waterfalls. So just let us know. All right, guys. I hope nothing but kind words come your way. And I hope everyone gets the day that they deserve. Take care, and we will catch you next time.